Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon, everyone. Initially, this is some of the figures. I actually presented something else as well, which I have, but I don't think so I have a time to complete it. So I'm just taking half of my presentation from this one and the remaining half from the other one. This is actually a small data which is showing you that there are 127 registered satellite TV channels in Pakistan, including 31 news channels, 4,152 cable operators, 44 lending TV channels like CNN, BBC, National Geographic, and many other, and there are 265 FM radio stations in Pakistan. Um, Normally, the most important thing, everyone knows the way the TV rating system is existing in Pakistan, but how the TV rating system is actually works. How many of you know about this as well, that how the TV rating system is actually works over here? This is the criteria. So far, there's one company in Pakistan which is authentic to issue the TV rating system, and they have also been issued a license for this. That is called Media Logic. Initially, it was a multinational organization which was owned by an international organization, but currently, the Express Media Group is owning that company as well. They are the owner. So on one hand, they are a stakeholder, and on the other hand, they are also issuing the rating system in Pakistan. Okay, the TV rating system, how it works. This is a very important thing. Initially, there were people's meter. There are AI system which install in many cities in Pakistan, and particularly most of the people's meter, they are installed in Karachi, number second in Lahore, number third in Islamabad, and then in a couple of cities. For example, in Quetta, they just had one. In Faisalabad, they just had one. In Multan, they just had one. You had no idea that either they were somewhere in southern Punjab, you had no idea either they were somewhere in interior Sindh, how you can capture the remaining KPK if there are just two in Peshawar as well. And just the company knows and knew initially that where these rating systems and where these people's meter were installing. One of the TV channel once broke their internal mechanism of security, and they reached the persons where the people's meter were installed. And it was quite surprising that the rating of that channel was quite high, and when that Media Logic investigated by themselves, they realized that, okay, the people gave bribe and they were compromised and they were just watching that channel. That was the reason the rating was so high. So it's quite questionable about the rating system which is existing in Pakistan. But the people meter, initially that were the only source. In the start, like they started from 600, expanding it at the last moment, it had, or it still has like around 3,000 people's meter. Of course, the 3,000 people's meter are not reflecting the cross country, but this is the mechanism existing. The Pakistan Advertiser Association, which is the main body of the advertisers who are issuing all the advertisements, they believe on that rating system. As they are believing and they are trusting on that advertisement system, so all the rating system is legal. So for example, if practically the Jio is on #1 position, the Jio is getting more ads. And when they are getting more ads, the rate of their ads is comparatively high. That is actually the rating race between the channels. Of course, you are not getting the same rate if you are on #10 position. Maybe you're going to have the same ads. But for example, if the Jio is getting 100,000 for a minute, probably the channel who's on #10 position, they are getting like 20,000 a minute or 30,000 a minute. That is the reason that their revenue is also being affecting for this as well. And we're going to look at the revenue system as well. So the rating system is now owned by Express, who is also a stakeholder as well. Again, the Media Logic I just mentioned. So the people meter is one of the source. Okay, there are a couple of things as well. When the Express owned the system as well, there were a number of question marks, and the people and the advertiser had also raising their voice. There were voices also being raised from the social society as well, that it's not trustworthy. The 3,000 meters were not able to define that what is the actual situation of the viewership. And particularly with the rise of social media, where like you can easily identify and define that how many people are watching and views your content. So they increase the system. Initially, till the couple of months back, the sample size was just 3,000 people's meter, which has been increased right now to 300,000. And what other samples they are taking? They are taking the digital cable network. For example, in Pakistan, there are many digital cable networks, like you have in Islamabad, Niatel. In Lahore, you have Storm Fiber, Wateen, WorldCall, and many other. PTC is also a digital cable. So these digital cables already had that mechanism, but they were not sharing. I remember a couple of years back, Niatel was just offering their own ratings, which they were sharing with their own subscribers who got their TV cable connections, so they were sharing their own rating as well, but now they are also sharing the rating with the Media Logic. Along with those digital cables, the Media Logic is also adding social media ratings as well. Like from many parts of the countries, they are also taking the social media ratings. They're also getting the social media views as well. They're also getting your the different channel social media subscribers as well. The People's Meter also has been expanded. Initially, it was like maximum in 10 cities, but now the People's Meter are now in 24 cities. Very interestingly, 20 cities have been disclosed. Like the 4 cities are still hidden, and just the company knows where those 4 cities are. None of the media owner, none of the company, they have any idea about those remaining 4 cities. Like I don't know either if Muzaffargarh, for example, is not in the list, I don't know either the Muzaffargarh is the 21st, 22nd, 23rd or 24th city or not. I don't know either the Jacobabad or Sindh is actually among those 4 cities or not. And that is why one of the reasons they did so, that they wanted the media channels to actually give more coverage, because they are not sure that in which particular cities those remaining 4 People's Meter are existing. So they are giving. There are many advantages and there are many disadvantages while adding the social media into the rating system as well. For example, I'm just naming 2 of the channel like Ab Tak and News One. They were focusing only on Karachi, and the Karachi had more People's Meter, so always they were getting some good ratings. Whenever you are actually highlighting the issues of the cities which have more People's Meters, so people are definitely going to watch the local channels over there. So Ab Tak and News One, they were more focusing on Karachi because initially out of that 1500 People Meter, when it was 1500, around 500 meters were in Karachi, just in Karachi, and the remaining 1,000 were across Pakistan. Now they have increased it to 3,000, I just mentioned. So these channels were making their ratings from just highlighting the Karachi issues. A couple of years back or a couple of months back, you've just witnessed, most of the TV channels, they were airing most of the stories regarding and relevant to Karachi. For example, if there is a mishap anywhere happened simultaneously, I'm sorry, like if there is a blast in Lahore and Karachi, you are going to see that there are more coverage of Karachi instead of Lahore as well, because they were more rating system, there were more People's Meter over there in Karachi as well. Or if, for example, there is a blast in Lahore and Lahore and Peshawar, you will see it out that Lahore is getting more coverage because there are more People's Meter in Lahore as well. So that was the phenomena, because where there are more People's Meter, the channels were showing more coverage of this as well, which was not justified at all. Now they have increased the total collection of the sample to 300,000, like just 3,000 People's Meter. Along with the People's Meter, there are many digital cable networks. So these digital cable network is also giving approximately a data of 100,000 users, and remaining is the social media users. So there is a huge chunk of social media users among that 300,000 total collection of samples for the rating as well. Very interestingly, as I just mentioned, the 20 cities are disclosed, so 4 cities nobody knows about that. The company never disclosed the remaining 4 cities are. The major cities are definitely Lahore, Karachi, Islamabad, Peshawar, Quetta, Multan, Faisalabad, Sakhar, Hyderabad, Skardu. So these are actually but 4 cities are still unidentified. The rating is very important for the TV channel. Again, we normally believe so that when sometimes the anchor are actually behaving rudely or harshly or aggressively, maybe they're getting some good ratings. So there are the mechanism available. In the TV, it's not the algorithms or the AI system like the social medias are. Because in YouTube, you're going to find it out, okay, when you are getting the high reach, low reach, how many people are reaching to your stories. On the website, you can easily define and identify that, okay, how many paragraphs of the lines have somebody has actually read or they left where it was not important for them. But in TV, they are just sharing the data with you, and you have your own mechanism, you have your own software where you are putting the system, and then you are realizing every media outlet has their own system as well. I've just taken a couple of samples from Hum News, because heading Hum News is easy for me to get and these are a couple of months old. So, but the basic purpose is that I'm going to show some examples that how the rating system works over there and how it defines. This is normally the bulletin slots, which is for the Hum News, like 12 midnight, then 7, then 9, then again 12 afternoon, 3 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. The main prime time is still existing in Pakistan between 7 to 12. So 9 p.m. is still the most watchable time on every TV channel right now. And that really matters, that how many viewers you are getting at this time. And then 11. And again, then start from the 12 a.m. This is one of the chart which I'm sharing with you. So, for example, is it like visible for you guys? If you can just see, this is the Hum News bulletin, and Hum News is actually comparing overall their bulletin performance from launching till now. Till now is actually a couple of months old. Like this is the data till June 2022. So they are comparing it with ARY, they are comparing it with Geo, Sama, and Dawn, and all that. And this is what the lines. So this graph is actually showing the where is Hum News from the beginning. Like 0.04 was the rating initially that was very low, and then it is going on. We will discuss as well later on that how these ratings are actually defined, but in this way they are going. And slowly, gradually, particularly over here in April, June 21, you have realized that there's a upward trend, and comparatively they are going over. On the other hand, if you just see and compare, the where the ARY is standing, where in fact the Geo no doubt still is actually on a very top level. However, in the coming era, the ARY was also competing them. This particular chart can also help you to define and understand that what happened over there when definitely the most of the channels, they are getting more viewership. You can see the Geo and ARY and many others, they have a downward trend. But suddenly, what happened in April, June 2021 or somewhere in June or July 2021, that suddenly the graphs are going up. So this data would also help you to define and understand, or maybe you can open your internet, find it out, that what are the reasons why the people suddenly started watching, because almost these two channels are going on a very upward trend, and like the other are also to some extent going upward, but not the way they are actually going upward. So this is just one mechanism, and you can just imagine that still they have a data from their launching till now, and it is also expanding because in this way they are monitoring the where we were standing at the time of launching, which they launched somewhere in May, June 2018, and within 4 years almost where they are existing right now. And of course, the number is growing. Initially, like they were quite low. At the time of start, they were on number 15 and 16. But currently, if you just consider among those 5, 6, but these are the top channels which are existing so far, they are on number 4 with a very mere difference with Sama. Sorry, let me just. There is another chart which we have just got through the media logic, and this is our all bulletins average. The bulletins performance in the last year, where our bulletins are actually existing, what were our performance, where we were standing, how much rating we are getting. So this is normally the 0.25 is the mechanism which the media logic is sharing with us as well. In the start again from January 2021, last year this is a 1 year comparison. We were just standing over here. That's the overall comparison of the all bulletins. So they just adjust that ratings and then find out that, okay, over here, particularly in this time, in this era, you can just find it out that from August 21 to March 22, February 22, there is an upward trend over there in their bulletins. So when our analytical section sit or the editorial section sit, and suddenly over here there's a dip down. So they can just compare, okay, why there's a dip down over here, and if there's a dip down, is it just for the Hum or is it for any other channel as well? So they have the bulletin average of the other channel as well, because the media logic is sharing every detail with them of each and every channel. So this thing can help you to define your content over here as well. They were on a peak, why they dipped down? Is there anything wrong with their content, headings, headlines, content, or maybe this is a general trend with every other channel. Maybe the people are not watching the channel over here. Maybe they are losing their interest. Maybe this is something, certainly some remarkable achievement happening, some political happenings. Most of the times the rating goes up, the rating comes down is because of the political stability and instability over there. As we are always saying, why the media is actually showing more political content, because the reason comes to those graphs that whenever there is a political instability, whenever there is a political chaos, the rating goes up. The people are watching more TV instead of other platforms. So this data can also help us to define that what are the steps we missed over here, so we started losing the viewership, and our bulletins are dropping down. This is again the bulletin average region-wise. So in region, we normally take the different 3 regions into this as well. The major regions are Lahore, Karachi, and Islamabad. Uh, this is the total. I'm sorry, it's not very clear. This is total. That's Karachi, that's Lahore, and that Rawalpindi, Islamabad. So Rawalpindi, Islamabad considered as one. And over here, there's also the region-wise data. So previously, it was the overall from across Pakistan, but over here, it's a region-wise. So we are just comparing that we are just comparing those three regions. That's a total, that okay, the total is going here. But across with the total as well, we have seen in our own comparison, the Pindi Islamabad is getting more eyeballs, and that is really helping our overall total rating towards the upward as well. When we talk about the Karachi, definitely it's in the second row. When we talk about Lahore, it is dipping down, suddenly goes up, down, goes up as well. So over here, with this upward trend and then coming downward as well, we can see and find it out. Again, all the three stations are going down over here. So it means that this is not a dip. There is nothing wrong with the content of Lahore. There is nothing wrong with the content of Pindi or Islamabad. There is a dip over here. So we can just compare this dip with other channel as well. That why there is a dip. Again, the same thing goes on over here, that if there is a dip, is it just for the hum? Is it for the other channel and all that? Just sharing regarding this rating as well, a couple of days back, the hum which is existing right now, number 4, the ratings which are currently existing is Jio number 1, ARY is number 2, Dunia is on number 3, Hum is number 4, Sama was earlier on number 4, but because as they just changed their stance, they are on number 5, and Express is number 6. But when you just compare the Express original rating somewhere on the social media, you will be sure that sometimes it's getting even very less ratings or the viewership compared to many of the other channels like 92, Dawn, GNN and all that. But as they own the rating system, so you can't question them because they know that what they are actually doing for that as well. So in this way, we can also compare ourselves. For example, if there's just a dip down of Lahore over here, so because being a head over in Punjab, they normally ask me that what are you doing? Just verifying your content, what are the reasons why we are digging down? They can also compare the other channels with us as well. Is it just a normal dip in Lahore for the other channel as well, or is it just for Hum? If it's just for Hum, I'm answerable for that as well, that what content is actually the people are not liking, so we are supposed to change the content. Over here, they're going to also examine this as well. Okay, what happened over here that suddenly the Pindi Islamabad was on a hype. So maybe there is a sort of hearing going on in Islamabad Pindi. Maybe there is some sort of a National Assembly things going on. So this thing would also help us to define about the content. Another chart, that is on now the basis on the province. That's Sindh, that's urban Balochistan, that NWFP and Punjab, and that's urban KP. Because this is the urban one. Again, the same things going on over here. We are comparing it with us, that where we are existing in the region-wise and what are the reasons. So you can see there is a huge difference. For example, that is in interior Sindh particularly, we are quite down throughout. But if you just check with the Punjab interior, it's going up and all that. It's getting better in Punjab. The ratio is quite high in urban KP. Urban KP, like we have the most watched viewership over there as well. It means that the content which is being shared from our KP bureau, the people really like it, they do like it and they are watching it. This is bulletin-wise again, the bulletin of the region-wise. We are also giving representation of the region in the bulletin as well. So we are comparing it that, okay, we have given more. If it just goes back, like this is what something the urban KP was high, and over here it is dropping down. It was high over here, but it is dropping down. So maybe we are not giving something in the bulletins, or maybe the other one are getting more coverage of it. This is a 3 months bulletins region-wise, another graph. Lahore, Karachi, Pindi, Islamabad, which is showing, look at this dip of the Pindi. Look at this high dip, upward trend of, and goes on and on. So it is defining us that what kind of coverages we are giving in the bulletins to those regions and how it is affecting. One of the reasons that I'm sharing all the 3 data, 3 region and 3 cities data with you, that mostly in the rating system, still the most of the data is being collected from Karachi, Lahore and Islamabad. That 3 months data of the region wise. Sorry, okay. This is on the basis of those available data which we just got from the media logic, and we just compare it. I was just sharing with you some of the data of Hum. I was not sharing with you the data of um, some other one. Like initially I was just sharing the way the ratings where we are existing. But this is the data where we normally compare ourselves, and we made it manually that where we are existing. For example, the bulletin news count with percentage. This is what we made. We are also monitoring Geo, Dunia, ARY, Sama, and Express, and there's a whole monitoring department over here. And through this department, you can see that, okay, the Islamabad Rawalpindi, we have given in the 3 months, in June 2022, sorry, in just June 2022, the Hum Pindi Islamabad has given 205 stories, while the Geo was giving just 99 stories, and Dunia was giving 104 stories, ARY was giving 112, Sama was giving 94, and Express was giving 72. This is what the data we have collected while monitoring their bulletins and finding it out that how many stories they have aired regarding Islamabad and Rawalpindi. This is a very hectic process. A large number of people have actually assigned in the monitoring department, because definitely the Geo is not going to share their official data with us. This is all the monitoring department has evaluated and checking by themselves that what kind of stories are being aired over here and how much stories the Hum made, because definitely working in the Hum, they have the data and accessibility of the Hum data, but working, they don't have a data of the remaining channels, so they have collected it manually. And then they are also comparing it that this is what the total percentage, that 33%, 35% of the total stories is there. Same is with Lahore. In June, like 108 stories filed, and comparatively, you just see the ratio of Hum is comparatively, filing of the stories is much more high than many other channel in almost every station. Like in Hum, like in Geo, like in Dunia, they are filing more stories. There is another data which can show that, okay, the stories which you have filed, either these stories have aired or not. Please. No, this is the filing of, for us, this is the filing of stories, but for the other, this is what the story is being aired. Because we don't have a data that how many stories they have filed. We can just compare that this is what the stories we filed and how many stories have aired, but whatever the stories they have filed and what is the ratio of the overall of it as well. We don't have a data of Geo that how many stories the Geo have filed. This is what the Geo management knows. But we just know that 99 stories of them have aired in overall June. So we can just compare it that, okay, we have filed 205 stories, or our aired stories are 205. So the Geo was 99, we were so high. So what were the reasons? Either it's more qualitative content or quantitative one. What we are focusing, either it's more quantitative, so we are probably lacking some quality. That is why it's not being watched. So the previous data which I just showed about the bulletins, we just gonna compare what kind of content we are producing over here and what kind of results we are getting in the rating system. So if the content, for example, 205 stories in June 2022, so we're just going to go and check the ratio of the bulletins, the ratio of the rating. We can just check the Islamabad, compare with the Islamabad of Geo and all that. While filing more stories or airing more stories, are we getting the desired eyeball or not? And if we are not getting the desired eyeballs, means there is something wrong with our content. And then there is another comparison which we have, that is between out of that 99 stories and out of the 205 stories, what is the difference? How many are the common and same stories? Yes. How many are the common and same stories? How many are the different stories? How many are the investigative stories? How many are the data stories? How many are the human social interest stories? What kind of coverages we are giving to the youth, women, and all that? Where we are getting, in fact, the more eyeballs. So this is all a manual work which they have done, a monitoring department through our mechanism over there. Initially, yes, while counting these things, this is all the manual work. Because you can't actually find it out. There are no softwares available which can define that how many stories of Geo aired of Pindi Islamabad, how many stories they are by aired of Lahore. This is all, they recorded those bulletins and then they note down each and everything, the whole bulletins, and then they find out, okay, these are the number of stories from Geo Islamabad, Geo Lahore, Geo Karachi, Geo Peshawar. This is all the manual work. And then while okay, I'm coming up with this as well. The rank is where we are existing so far while airing the stories. In Pindi, Islamabad, our more stories were aired, so we ranked number 1. But in Lahore, we rank on number 5 because we were lacking many stories into this as well. For example, we filed 108 stories in Lahore just in June 2022, and our 108 stories, out of 108 stories, this is what the ratio we just got, 21%. And we ranked on number 5, so our coverage for Lahore among this is for us, our coverage for Lahore among the other channels were number 5. The other channels were giving more coverage to Lahore. The Karachi, we are on number 6. The other channel were giving more coverage to Karachi. Peshawar, we are on number 2. While the available data was available, we are evaluating ourselves that out of those filing stories of the percentage which is being aired, where we are standing right now. This is for us. This is helping us out that why we are on why we are not giving more coverage to Lahore. How could we miss Karachi because the Karachi is the number 6. In this data, this monitoring department is directly answerable to the company's heads, CEOs. This is actually giving an accountability on the news department regarding the content which we are producing and regarding the content which we are airing as well. So over here they can ask, Acha ji, how many stories you filed? I will present them the story. This is what the stories I filed. For example, in the first 6 months of this year, Hum News Lahore Bureau filed 2,300 packages. 2,300 packages mean average approximately like 13, 14 packages a day, which is quite a big number with just 7 to 8 reporters. But when I just file and check my average of airing stuff, it's quite low. We are not getting this. Approximately like 5 packages average runs or air in the 24 hours.
Who is the bureau chief of Hum News Lahore?
I am.
Oh, okay.
Shiraz Sahab,
Sir.
so who is driving actually your bulletin? I mean, this rating system, it seems that the rating system is driving the policy of the news channel. Yeah,
it is.
So what is the role of the the director news or the editorial board? I mean, then another thing which is confusing, that nobody knows that what type of stories at 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. you are going to on air. I mean, people are watching that television network, and it happens that they watch that story. They don't know, and prior they have no knowledge about that. At 3 p.m. bulletin, their city will be getting some type of coverage or not. So I mean, if you don't air that stories, it really needs some real check. That if you are not airing certain stories about Lahore, the audience of Lahore cannot be missed. I mean, they have no prior knowledge. They have no prior knowledge. So whatever the audience is willing, whatever, I mean, you are following the geo trend. So whatever the geo is doing, you all will be doing same. If they are on airing a bulletin of, I mean, news headline of 19 minutes, Hum Television will be airing a bulletin of headline of 19 years. So where are the policies, or I mean, where we're standing?
There are a couple of things. Let me just, yes, the rating system is driving the TV channel, and there is no doubt about it. But you have a lot of potential of creating and generating a content which nobody is actually stopping you. The rating system is basically finalizing on the basis of the content which you are producing. Over here, this is not made by me. This is made by the monitoring department. So when that falls in the number 5th out of all this, they have sent me an email of explanation to me, and I will send the details of them that in June that how much content I have produced. Because I have the record of each and everything, that how many live papers my reporters have done, how many ASLEF they have done, how many live things have been sent from here as well, what are the issues we have created. So every day there is a day plan. It's quite a hectic job. Every day there is a day plan. We are targeting bulletins. Before the bulletin, we are sending our list of sending stuff. For example, around 11, we send that, okay, this is what we are going to give to our central newsroom for the 12. Okay, around 2, we are going to send, this is what we are going to give for 3 to our central newsroom. So we are defining and giving them all our content which we are generating while targeting the bulletin, number 1. Number 2, yes, this is something alarming in a way that look at the number of stories which we just shared, filed, aired, and compared to these stories, like the most of the channels, they have less number of stories, but they have more ratios, and we are standing on number 5th position. When we are standing on number 5th position, it means that we are missing the coverage of Lahore. So over here, when they send me the explanation, I will send them the details of whatever I filed for the month of June, reporter-wise, desk-wise, and everything. And then they compare and getting the data that how many stories have been aired. Number one. Number two, at what time they aired. Because this is also being monitored. At what time they aired. For example, if they are airing, they said, okay, out of that 12 or 13 packages which I am sending every day, they are just airing 5, and they are airing the 5 packages somewhere at the 12 a.m. bulletin or somewhere at 3 a.m. or 7 a.m. This is not the justification. Means that they are totally ignoring it. So this monitoring section is also going to evaluate and then finding it out the reasons. Excuse me. I guess. Okay, sorry. And then finding it out the reasons that why we are not airing this and what are the reasons that it's not being aired on the prime time. Why we miss that particularly. And they have to going to calculate it on everyday basis of June, and they have realized that how many stories have aired actually at the 9 p.m. bulletin, particularly at the 12 a.m., the 11 p.m. and anything. And they're also going to check that, for example, the Hum is getting an extraordinary response from their 7 a.m. bulletin. Of 7 a.m. bulletin, I don't think so that any of the people who are sitting over here, they normally or they do watch the 7 a.m. bulletin. So it means that, like, I don't know that who are those people, but we are getting a lot of good response. 7 a.m. bulletin normally on the peak whenever we are getting the rating. So it means the people are watching it. So I am quite happy if the 7 a.m. bulletin is getting some rating, and they are sharing my stuff into this as well, because probably more eyeballs gonna be witness of this as well. Again, the last thing which you just asked, if I'm not wrong, is more about the editorial board and the stuff. Yes, the editorial board is there. In Hum, they have a very, even over here in Punjab, I am heading the editorial board, and none of the exclusive stories is being filed without my permission. None of the stories is actually being filed without the counter version of any person as well. Hum has a very strict policy, and if just go and check the PEMRA records regarding the issuance of warning letters or the explanation letters, in my 5 years of tenure, Hum just got one explanation on this as well. And that was the reason that I was not in the country at that time as well. But like it has quite a check and balances. They are not airing story. Hum has a very strict policy regarding, this is not like me, this is because of the honors of the Hum. They have very strict policy that they will not air any casualty. They will not air how long it's not being attributed by anyone. Even, for example, giving you the recent example of Dr. Amir Liaquat. The reporters were confirming, but they were not airing how long his son was not attributed, and he didn't confirm that, okay, yes, my father has been passed away, and I'm confirming it. Then they aired. And we were so late for this as well. But they said, no, we don't go into this rat race as well. Sometimes you are getting the benefit, and sometimes the people don't like it, because this is a rat race of rating. And when you are not airing story, when you are not giving story to the people, they definitely switch the channel as well, because they have a choices. So if they are not finding the Amir Liaquat Mar Gaya or and let's watch, in fact, Hum, they are not airing, so I'm sorry, they're gonna switch out to some other channel as well. So it has, but while maintaining the credibility in this way, you are losing the eyeballs. While losing the eyeballs, you are losing the ratings. While losing the ratings, you are losing the revenue, which is the main source of running those channels as well.
Shiraz, only one thing I
Sir.
wanted to know, because मुझे नजर नहीं आ रहा ठीक से यहाँ पर. I want
मुझे भी नहीं सही नजर आया.
So you can.
Sir.
I wanted to know कि किसने सबसे ज़्यादा stories को file किया with regards to Lahore and Islamabad, और सबसे ज़्यादा stories किसकी on air गई at first. And secondly, I wanted to know कि जो आपके हम television के dramas on air होते हैं, उसकी rating भी क्या media logic ही करता है या कोई और mechanism है उसके लिए?
नहीं सर, सारे पाकिस्तान के जितने मैंने आपको सैटेलाइट चैनल दिखाए, सवाए पीटीवी के, because PTV not in that rating, PTV World or whatever the other channels the PTV has, every channel is being monitored, and they are supervised by media logic for the rating as well. मैंने अब आपसे कहा कि उसका उन्होंने sample size expand किया, like they have increased the sample size. So out of that 300,000, they are just getting 3,000. They are just getting 3,000. So remember, every day, but sometimes even the company knows, and their AI system knows, that out of the 3,000, either there are more people's meter into this as well, either there are more digital cable ratio, either there are more social media stuff. And because of this, the most of the channels, the rating has suddenly been changed. I said that initially some of the channels who were quite on a good ratings, like Ab Tak and News One, when the Karachi has been taken out from the people's meter, and there are many other factors involved into this as well, they have dipped down a lot. So that is actually happening.
हम के क्या social media accounts की rating या उनकी viewership ज़्यादा है
बहुत.
compared to the
Yes.
mainstream?
The reason Hum is the biggest beneficiary. Okay. I'm sorry, I can't see the time as well. It's. Achha. How many? 5 to 10 minutes or not? 5 minutes. Achha. 10? 5 minutes, sir. Okay. Sir, आगे. अरे sir, एक minute. Yes, Hum is the biggest beneficiary because on Facebook they are number 1. On YouTube they are not as good, but like they are among the top 10. Their website is actually existing among the top 100 websites in Pakistan as well. So social media, I'm talking about the news. When you just talk about the network, they are generating a crazy money. Very briefly, Hum is the only Pakistani company which is listed with stock exchange. Not even a single Pakistani company is listed with the stock exchange as well. So while listing in the stock exchange, Hum is also sharing their every black and white of the fiscal year as well. The recent fiscal year report with the Hum presented in the stock exchange, so it's public, you can see it out as well. Hum claimed to earn 6 billion rupees from their multiple projects of the Hum network. 6 billion rupees. Very interestingly, out of those 6 billion, 3.5 billion rupees was their expense, and the net profit was 2.5 billion, which is really helping them out to stance and strengthen their share in the stock market as well. Number 2, regarding this, out of those, and interestingly, despite this set, whatever they're earning, most of their earning were from the Hum network, and the news is still in loss. Despite this fact, the news is actually on number 4 position. News is still in loss. If you're able to find out any of the news channels' yearly reports, you will be surprised to see that every news channel in Pakistan is claiming that they are in loss as well. For example, Dunia is claiming that they are being supported by their educational group. Airways being supported by their property and many other as well. Every news channel in Pakistan is claiming that they are in loss as well. Sir,
There is a question.
please.
Okay. Firstly, thank you very much for such an informative presentation. I have just 2 questions very briefly. You answered that every news channel is now on YouTube where you can see them live anywhere. Does it matter to you people? Do you check that what is the viewership and the subscription of that channel? Because if I talk about my father at the age of 70, who used to be pakke wala viewer jisko hum kehte hain of TV, now he left watching TV, and by lying down on the bed, my father enjoys while listening and watching the news on the social media. So who is looking after the, or who is analyzing the subscriptions and the views? And secondly, that does it matter to you while evaluating this chart, which is based purely on the television viewership? So I just need to know.
Let me just add. This chart is not based on the television viewership. That chart is based on the Media Logic's ratings and the data which they have shared. And their total number of samples are 300,000. So many of their sample sizes are from the People's Meter, from the digital cable, and from the digital media as well. Yes, every subscription and every viewer matter for us as well, because now they are also being captured by in the rating system as well. So that is why you said. And secondly, you are getting an easy money from the digital platforms. You don't need to attract, in fact, most of the advertisers for this rating system as well. You are getting an easy money. How many people are watching? What are your subscription level over there? How much watch time the people have watched? You are getting an easy money for this as well.
हसनात साहब
Sir.
तो एक तो बड़ा ज़बरदस्त आपने एनालाइज किया सारा ये आपने जितनी भी डिटेल्स बताए हैं तो इसमें पुख्तनख्वा और बलूचिस्तान का कोई ख़ास जिक्र नहीं है जो रेटिंग्स आते हैं जहाँ पे ना तो ये एक तो बहुत बड़ी ज़्यादती है कि अगर उन इलाकों के रेटिंग नहीं आ रहे हैं तो ये जो मीडिया मालकान है ये क्या कर रहे हैं उन सारी मतलब वो जो पॉपुलेशन है उसके साथ तो बहुत बड़ी ज़्यादती है और दूसरी बात ये है कि ये किन प्रोग्राम्स के सबसे ज़्यादा जो है ना वो रेटिंग्स आते हैं
सर पहली बात इसी में ये देखें आप देयर इज अ केपीके देयर इज अ कोयटा एज वेल सो we are taking KPK, particularly Peshawar/KPK means that there are more people's meter and there are more ratings which they are getting from Peshawar. So we are taking Peshawar, but we are also adding the remaining KPK as well. While adding Balochistan, we are just adding Quetta and we are adding the remaining Balochistan as well because normally the ratings we are getting from the Quetta and Peshawar instead of the remaining. But when we talk about the Lahore, Karachi and Pindi, Islamabad, we have taken it separately in this way that there are more people who are watching TV over there. We are getting more business from there. These are the ground realities. And lastly, there are more, the people's meter and the other mechanisms are more. So data which is being collected from those 3 cities, that is more compared to the rest of the Balochistan and Quetta as well. And this is not in my hand, this is the media logic who's actually defining that from where they are getting what kind of data and what is the quantity of it as well. Yes, I do agree, it is not defining the overall viewership, but trust me, for Peshawar, we have got an extraordinary viewership on our social media when we just evaluate it as well. And we are among the biggest beneficiary when they are adding the social media into the rating system as well. It goes high because of the KPK. Same goes with the Balochistan as well. So most of the channels who were just focusing Lahore, Karachi and Islamabad, they were probably dipping down when they were not focusing on this particular area. And then we are also separated with Punjab, Sindh, AJK, means that is Kashmir, and GB is also existing over there. And how many international stories are also added. So we are also adding this too. Sir, thank you so much. Like, it's not